The night was unusually silent, the kind of stillness that makes even the rustling leaves sound like a disturbance. I was sitting on my porch, nursing a cup of tea and trying to enjoy the solitude when a strange shimmer caught my eye. I blinked, thinking it was a trick of the light, but it persisted. From that shimmer, a figure materialized. It wasn't just any figure. It was a woman with silver skin that seemed to glow faintly under the moonlight. Her hair flowed like molten gold, and her eyes, a brilliant shade of violet, held an intensity that pinned me to my seat. Before I could react, she stepped onto my garden, her movements fluid and purposeful. Then she spoke, her voice melodic yet commanding. "I need your help, human." For a moment, I could only stare, my mind scrambling for a rational explanation. Maybe I'd fallen asleep and this was some vivid dream. But the cool breeze on my skin and the faint scent of jasmine in the air told me otherwise. What? I stammered, finally finding my voice. "I need your help," she repeated, her tone impatient. "Time is short." "Who are you?" I asked, setting my cup down. "And what kind of help are we talking about here?" She tilted her head, as if the question amused her. "I am Lyara, an emissary from Eryndor. My people are in danger, and you are the only one who can save us." "Me?" I asked incredulously. "I'm just an ordinary guy." "You must have the wrong person." "No mistake," she said firmly. "You possess something unique, something we need." Before I could argue, she stepped closer and held out her hand. A holographic projection appeared, displaying a strange, glowing orb surrounded by intricate symbols. "This is the Celestium Core," she explained. "It powers the life support systems of Eryndor. Without it, my world will collapse within days." "That's tragic," I said, still skeptical. "But what does that have to do with me?" "Because," she said, her violet eyes locking onto mine, "your DNA is the only one compatible with the core's activation sequence. Without you, we cannot restore its power." I laughed nervously. "This has to be a mistake. I'm not special. I'm not even good at fixing my car, let alone alien technology." Lyara's expression hardened. "You may doubt yourself, but the universe does not. The core's readings are never wrong." I rubbed my temples, trying to process this surreal encounter. "What happens if I say no?" "Billions of lives will be lost," she said simply. "And your planet will not remain unaffected. The energy imbalance will ripple across galaxies, destabilizing solar systems, including yours." That got my attention. "All right," I said cautiously. "What do I need to do?" Lyara's tense demeanor softened slightly, and she nodded. "Follow me." Before I could ask where we were going, she extended her hand. The moment I touched it, the world around me dissolved into a cascade of light and sound. When the chaos subsided, I found myself standing in a vast chamber filled with machinery that looked like it belonged in a sci-fi movie. The air was thick with a metallic tang, and the walls pulsed with an eerie blue light. In the center of the room stood the Celestium Core. It was even more magnificent in person, a swirling sphere of energy encased in a crystalline lattice. But it was dim, its light flickering weakly. "This is it," Lyara said, leading me toward the core. "Place your hand on the interface." I hesitated. "What's going to happen to me?" "The core will draw a small amount of your bioenergy to recalibrate its systems," she explained. "It may feel uncomfortable, but it will not harm you." "Define uncomfortable," I muttered. Lyara's lips twitched in what might have been a smile. "You'll survive." Taking a deep breath, I stepped forward and placed my hand on the glowing panel. The moment my skin made contact, a jolt of energy surged through me. It was like being struck by lightning and submerged in ice water at the same time. My vision blurred, and I felt my knees buckle, but I stayed upright, gritting my teeth against the pain. The core roared to life, its dim light flaring into a brilliant radiance. Symbols danced across its surface, and the machinery around us hummed with renewed vigor. Finally, the energy subsided, leaving me gasping for breath. "It is done," Lyara said, her voice tinged with relief. "You have saved Eryndor." "Glad to hear it," I panted, swaying on my feet. "Now, can we talk about getting me home?" She reached out to steady me, her touch surprisingly gentle. Of course. But first, there is something you must know. I groaned. There's always a catch, isn't there? Lyara's expression turned serious. The energy you gave to the core has altered you. Your DNA has been permanently bonded to its matrix. You are now linked to Eryndor in ways that cannot be undone. What does that mean? I asked, dread creeping into my voice. It means you are no longer entirely human, she said. Your lifespan, your abilities, even your perception of reality will change. You are part of something greater now. I stared at her, trying to process this new bombshell. So, I'm an alien now. Not entirely, she said. But you are unique, a bridge between our worlds. And that comes with responsibilities. Responsibilities, I repeated, my voice rising. I didn't sign up for this. Perhaps not, she said calmly. But the universe has chosen you, whether you accept it or not. Before I could argue further, she touched a device on her wrist, and the shimmering portal reappeared. I will return you to your world now. But this is not goodbye. We will call upon you again when the time comes. I wanted to protest, to demand answers, but the portal's pull was already drawing me in. In the blink of an eye, I was back in my garden, the night as still and quiet as before. For a moment, I wondered if it had all been a dream. But the faint glow in my skin and the strange hum in my ears told me otherwise. Over the following weeks, I began to notice changes. My reflexes were sharper, my mind clearer, and I could sense things, patterns, energies, that I'd never noticed before. It was exhilarating and terrifying in equal measure. One night, as I stared up at the stars, a familiar shimmer appeared in the sky. I knew it was Lyara, or someone from Eryndor, watching me. The thought filled me with a strange mix of anticipation and dread. My life would never be the same, but maybe, just maybe, that wasn't such a bad thing. The universe had chosen me, and whether I liked it or not, I was ready to face whatever came next.